gone too far. I should start the recording. Okay. So at any rate, let's go ahead and continue on. That's what we're going to cover. The ebook collection, searching ebook platforms, and common problems, issues with ebooks that have come up. So our ebook collection as a whole, our ebook collection grants users to thousands of ebooks. Most of them are accessible through Search USA and the library's catalog, as well as through our four primary platforms, which are EBSCO, the R2 Digital Library, and the ProQuest eBook Central. And I will show you those as we move along. But these next couple slides, these are more or less just for just to talk about some of the features, that each platform has. So for EBSCO, EBSCO has a large multidisciplinary collection of ebooks ranging from the health sciences, literature, reference books, business, law. It's speech pathology as well. Has a great user interface, and it's super easy to search. With a My EBSCO account, which is free, by the way, you can save, email, permalink pages. It's very, very convenient. So that's some of the pluses to that one. Then we're going to go to the R2 Digital Library. The R2 Digital Library features a robust collection of health science focused ebooks. It is fairly user friendly. It's not my favorite, but its content really makes up for its functionality. It has great pictures, and the platform allows you to also bookmark, print, save searches, and save images. And but the best thing about it is that no independent account is required, which is kind of unusual, really. Whereas EBSCO and ProQuest just to bookmark pages and things like that, you have to create a free account for that. So anyway, ProQuest or ProQuest eBook Central is what it's called. It is another multi-subject ebook collection of medical sciences, law, literature, history, religion, physical sciences even. It is super easy to use. It's probably one of the best ones, I think. But I will tell you this, that whereas our EBSCO ebook collection, as well as our R2 ebook collection, both of those can be searched using Search USA, but unfortunately, a lot of ProQuest books do not show up in a Search USA search, unfortunately. So I just usually like to tell the students that just off the top. And some of our other platforms that we have, and by the way, these are very new. It's essentially Ovid, and it's under the you have access to the to Ovid's Made Incredibly Easy series, and we actually just got those books, I would say, a couple weeks ago. And then you guys also have access to the LW Health library, which is also an Ovid product. And most of that collection is general anatomy, physiology, and physical therapy books and things like that. But we'll take a look at them though for sure. So let's go ahead and head over to the USA Library, and I'm going to show you how to search for ebooks. So let me switch gears real quick. All right, so I'm already on the page, but let me go back because I was prepping for this. Looks like we have somebody join us. Welcome. This is recorded, by the way, so if so usually within about hello Lula, usually about I would say hopefully about 45 minutes after the presentation is over, it'll be posted on our Facebook page or on this page. And let me go ahead and show you that now, Lula, because you missed a couple slides. Under online resources and where it says webinars, it'll be posted right here. This is the one that I did last term. It's pretty similar. So if you're popping in, right now, if you want to catch up, you can view the presentation here, or actually view this presentation in a couple of hours there as well. So just give you some options. Anyway, back to our search for ebooks. So starting from the USA library page here. First, we're going to go to Search USA. I'm going to go ahead and pop a window open for that. So we've all seen Search USA. Let's go ahead and first and foremost, whenever you open Search USA, what you're all want to do is you're going to sign into your USA your USA library account. And this account, of course, is for the digital content that we have. So it's very important that you log in, because otherwise you'll not be able to view that content. So just a heads up. So what are we going to search for today? Let's do a search for, I'll do one for exercise science. I was trying to figure out one to do. I was trying to figure out one that was like general enough to do, that would actually give us some stuff to actually work with, that was big but not like way too big. So I think this is the best option, but here, let's go ahead and check it out. So I just typed that in keywords, and this is, like I said, this is basically if you just want to browse, just basically browse ebooks using Search USA. I always like to show students this, just because Search USA is it's the main search hub. This is where you would search for ebooks. This is where you would search for physical books, academic journals, articles, etc. So this is where you would most likely stop first. So that's why I usually like to show people here first and foremost. So basically, to view the ebook collection, we have a lot to work with, as you can see, a lot to work with. You can kind of scroll down and see what's there, but to view the ebook collection, what you're going to do is you're going to go to source types right there and go to show more. And then you might have to scroll down, and you'll see, so it says ebooks right here. And you're going to check mark that and click update. And take a second, and it'll update our search. And those are the ebooks. Those are the ebooks that are available, that have something to do. It's exercise science. So whether it's in the title, or if it's a keyword, that's where it is. So what I'll show you next is basically how to access them, which is the most important part, right? So I'm going to go backwards. I'm going to show you how to access this one first, and then we'll come back to this one, and I'll tell you why. So let's click on eccentric exercise physiology application. So the reason why is because I know just by viewing this, because the fact that I think I bought it was that this is an EBSCO published ebook, and what's different about those is that our search tool, Search USA, is maintained by EBSCO. So of course, EBSCO's content, you know, that we subscribe to shows up best. Now, that's not saying that the other ebooks like are harder to find, or that they're harder to access, because it's not really true. But the only reason why I say this is because to open up an actual EBSCO ebook is really intuitive, I guess. So you know, we have it opened right here, and all you have to do is go over here to the PDF full text and click on it. That's it. And the reason why, as I said, is because it's just like, you know, Business 101. It's that EBSCO's products, you know, work. You know, they work best with EBSCO. I'm sorry. So that's the book. Looks great. PDF. As I was saying before, you can save pages, you can email pages if you want to, you can print pages as well. You can search within the text, which is pretty cool. Take notes. Now note again that that to save, say your notes or anything, or any of the notes you may add to this book, or save pages, or say add it to a folder, that you need to sign in or create a My EBSCO account page. I already have one, but some of the benefits here are actually really great, because if you don't sign in, if you don't have an account, you can still add it to a folder. You can still write notes, blah blah blah. But the only problem is that if you don't have an EBSCO account, then it won't save any of that. So as soon as you close it down, it's gone for good. So I would definitely, if you think that you might, you know, want to save pages here and there, add it to a folder to view, then I would definitely suggest going up here and creating an account. It's free. It's really, really simple. Takes about 2 minutes to set up. It's very easy. So that's an EBSCO book, which of course you can find through Search USA. Oh, sorry. And let's go back out. Oops. Where was I? Okay, so now we're back, and this already looks different. So, you know, we started off with this one. Now I'm going to cover this one right here. So already you can see that there's a difference. With an EBSCO book, all you have to do immediately is just click on the PDF full text, and the book shows up right in front of you. Now this is, I'm fairly certain, is an R2 book. And how do I know it's an R2 book? Is because this is what shows up. And like I said, there isn't really much we can do about this, but it's still simple to use. It's just it takes like an extra click, really. So let's say we click on the entry here, we open it up. You have the choice of whether you want to click to access the title there, which some people do, because that's like that's the quickest way. But you'll also see that if you want to access the title, you would have to get it from the library catalog. So let me go ahead and show you that. Some people just click on this, which is great, and that's immediate access, and that's the full book. Of course, it looks a little bit different, right, as the EBSCO book. It's not in like a PDF format. It's more like an HTML format. So it's, so it looks a little different, but I promise you, it's the full text of the book. It's just that it's not, it doesn't necessarily it doesn't hold up the publishing constitution, I guess, for it. So let me go ahead and close that out, and you can go to library catalog and get this as well. So I click on retrieve book from catalog, and you just hover over it, and you click the same thing to go to the book right there. So why are there two places to do the exact same thing? Well, and the shortest way to tell you is that it's because that's how R2 publishing with an EBSCO product seems to work that way. That's my best guess. I guess I would say that right now, which is actually kind of brings me to an interesting point. Is that you can search eBooks also using the library's catalog as well. So library's catalog, of course, to find library's catalog, when we go back out to our library homepage, you would go under campus resources and access catalog. And so I'm sure you're saying, Ryan, what's the difference between Search USA and the library catalog? Well, the Search USA searches everything that we have. So it searches, like I said before, it's the articles, journals, physical items, eBooks, you name it. Whereas the library catalog searches and it shows users the actual holdings for our physical branches. So, for instance, the library catalog is a good place to go if you just want to, search for like a textbook, like an actual physical textbook. Or if you're a campus-based student, for instance, and you're in our physical therapy program, for example, like you could search for things like bone models and like treatment tables and like crutches and stuff like that. That's the best place. And the actual best place to search that would be in the library catalog. But the other great thing about our library catalog is that you can also search for eBooks as well. Some people like to do that. They actually like to search the library catalog for eBooks instead of using Search USA. So it's just it's a personal preference. I actually really don't mind if I'm looking strictly for eBooks. If it's me, I will usually head over to the library catalog. But the reason why is I'm about to show you. So if you're searching the library catalog, you're going to search it just like any other search tool, that's pretty much out there. We'll change it up. We'll do exercise physiology for this one. So naturally, we just did a basic keyword search for that, and it brought us up some great stuff to use. But you're looking at this and you're going, well, let's hover over it. Oh, no, wait. These are physical books, and you can tell because they have those call numbers, and they also have the actual campus that the book is actually located at. So that's a telltale sign that that's not an ebook. However, I believe this one up here is, and it's a reserve. Oh no, it's a reserve textbook, so that one's not one of ours. But hey, let's say that we want to find an ebook about this topic. You're going to go over here to modify results. Click on that, and it'll populate. You're going to go to collection, right? And then go to eBooks. Just check mark it, and then go to the search. Go for run your search now. It's a magnifying glass. I don't know why, but it took me like 3 seconds to actually figure out exactly what that was. I don't know why. I'm sorry. So these are the ebooks then. So you hover over those ebooks, and you can choose them that way. You can browse them this way. You can sort them by popularity, by relevance to its keywords, year, etc. Now let's say you just want to generally search ebooks exclusively. You just want to look at every ebook that the USA Library, or I would say you want to look at every ebook the USA Library grants you access to. What you're going to want to do is you're going to go to Advanced Search, right there, and then you can enter any search terms that you want, whatever. But you go to Collections, just like we did before. You're going to go to Collections and go eBooks, and then click Go. Now you're going to get a lot of and that's basically what you got there. So they're already sorted by the popularity. You can sort by title, of course, and just you can browse and browse and browse and browse away. So that's a good way to take a look at the ebooks using the library's catalog. So let me X out of this for now. I'm going to go through quickly the platform. So to learn more about ebooks and to access the actual ebook platforms that we talked about, EBSCO, R2, ProQuest, you're going to go to Online Resources, and sip my coffee real quick. You're going to scroll down, keep going down here past databases, past article requests, and ebooks. You'll see it in this. Basically, I just said this literally about a second ago. So you have that. It's available for you just in case you forget. And then let's take a look at EBSCO first. As you'll notice, if we were to put Search USA side by side with EBSCO, this just further proves the point. As you can see with the tabs, that they are EBSCO products, straight up and on. So that's cool. So that's the EBSCO ebook platform, and that's Search USA, and they're pretty much set up in a very, very similar way. So you can browse, of course, by category. Let's do health and medicine. Let's just browse our collection of that. Excuse me. And so you can, put in search terms if you want to. Use the advanced search field if you feel that's what you want to do. And let's go manual therapy of the extremities. Click on the title, PDF, and we'll connect to it. And as before, it's going to look just like the EBSCO book that we looked at earlier. Let's go back. And there really isn't any special tricks to these. It works just like Search USA. So if you want to dig into health sciences as a topic, and then go look for subjects that are that are a part of that topic. You can click in subject and go on, so on and so forth. Check out publishers, language, even category, etc. So that is the EBSCO platform. Now let's go check out our R2 platform. As you'll see, as you saw before, it looks a bit different. R2 Digital Library is actually, it's this publishing company. It's called Rittenhouse, as a matter of fact. So just like the library catalog, just like Search USA, you can search for search for titles. You can search by keywords as well. You could do, like, you have an advanced search option where you can search by a particular author, book title, publisher, editor, ISBN, date ranges, etc. So let's just do a browse by discipline. So we're doing exercise therapy. So let's just do exercise science. Looks like we only have two books that are R2 books that are exercise science, that are strictly about that field. But this is a great collection. Has a lot of fantastic titles in it, and as I said, really one of the best things about R2 is its visual capabilities are great, absolutely great. So let me pop open a couple of them. Let's go to nursing, because I think you guys are nursing folk. So I think I just bought this one, actually. Yeah, I did. So there we go. And like I said, it's gonna look a little different, just because of the provider. But it still has great information for sure. So, and as I was mentioning before, you can print the page, you can email the page, you can export a citation of the chapter or whole book, save it as a bookmark. And as I was mentioning before, the great thing about R2 is that you don't have to create an account. That's my account as an admin. So that's different. But pretty much as a user, sky's the limit, really. You don't have to create an account just to bookmark pages or anything like that, which is pretty cool. So let's close that guy out and let's go to ProQuest. So ProQuest is great. As I was mentioning before, ProQuest is a lot like EBSCO as far as its content possibilities. So we could do a search if we want, but let's just do a search. We can also browse by subjects if we wanted to, which was right underneath there. But again, it looks just like any other search tool you have ever come in contact with. What I would do as a suggestion is I would say, if you're looking for immediate access to an ebook, I would come over here and do eBooks, or I would come over here to do book status, which is owned and subscribed by the library. I would only do that if you definitely want, a certain book. You definitely want access to that title, right there and then. But if you're generally browsing, I usually tell students to not put any sort of limiters on it, just because you never know what'll come up. And just know, as a student, you have the interlibrary loan service that we have, which we could possibly get that missing title for you. So I always like to tell students that do not limit yourself when you're searching. Go big, always go big first. So anyway, again, great tool. Let's pop open a couple of them to look. I like the ProQuest one a lot. The other great thing about ProQuest as well is that as far, and I'll talk about this sort of briefly at the end. It's kind of a dense topic, but it's definitely one that I always like to tell students about. But eBooks work a little differently than your physical books. So anyway, opening this thing up looks great. Great content, looks wonderful. Again, to say to add to your bookshelf, to make notes, to make highlights, and to keep changes, you would have to sign in for a ProQuest account, which, just like EBSCO, is free. Takes about 2 minutes just to sign up for it. Great tool. So brings me to one of the points I usually like to make is the last thing we're going to look at the two new ones. There's Ovid, Ovid's Made Incredibly Easy series, which we just acquired, which has some great titles in it. I mean, it's fun stuff that is already being used, which is pretty cool. Just like any of them, it's just going to be clicking on it, pops open a new window, and then you can view the text. And then the LW Health library, the last one I popped open there. This is the one I was telling you about that has a lot of our super popular physical therapy anatomy titles. So as you can see, you have muscles, which as far as a campus text and I would go as far to say that a lot of allied health courses probably have this book as a required text somewhere. So, but anyway, this is the LWW Health Library's physical therapy collection, and we actually just acquired it, and it's great. It's very user friendly, and we're planning to acquire more electronic content in the future, especially for our nursing programs and education, etc. So, wonderful tool to use. Now, like I was going to say, the one thing I always like to tell students about eBooks, and this kind of brings me to toward the tail end of the presentation, really, is wow, that got really bright really fast. Is what I usually like to sort of end it with is kind of like the bummer part of I guess of eBooks, which is basically like one of the most popular student questions that I'll field from students that pertain to eBooks. There's a few of them, but the main one is usually if a student is say using an ebook, throughout the day maybe, and then they log out of a session and then they come back to that ebook, and then they can't access anything with the ebook. And what that is usually, because it's super frustrating, and I totally understand it, is that ebooks, depending on publishers, they set limits. They will set limits. They set limits on how many licenses are available for each book. So what's a license? So a license is basically it's almost like it's us paying for views. So each publisher, the prices basically demand, they pretty much come down to some of the books, they have unlimited licenses, which a lot of the ProQuest books typically do, um, um, which means that any number of people can view the book's content at the same time. That's the unlimited license. However, many books, many of the ebooks, and it's not just us, it's every university, many of them have 3 licenses, which basically says that if 3 or more people are trying to access such and such book at the same time, then basically somebody gets locked out. So and what it'll be like a prompt that'll come onto the screen, and it'll say license count reached, or it'll say this book is currently not available. And so that's usually one of the that's usually one of the issues that'll come up from time to time. This is also, this happening is also a large reason why we will typically tell students that it's not good to rely on the library's ebook copy just because of this reason. Some of the licenses even, and some of these books, actually, I'd say maybe mostly R2. Some of them only allow one person to view the content at a time, even. But yeah, I mean, it's the publisher's rules basically. So that's pretty much that, which is a very, very frustrating part. But at the same time, that does not mean that the content isn't there. It's definitely use these resources. They're out there. They're great. It's just that I usually like to tell students that, just because because it may happen one day. Just because it's a required textbook maybe for another class, or if it's a really, really popular textbook, or something like that. I would say that that's generally speaking, like that's the only time that typically happens, is that if it's like a required textbook, and if a lot of people let's say chose not to purchase the book. That's usually when that happens. But generally, across the board, you will probably never run into that, knock on wood. So, but that's something that I always like to tell students, first and foremost. I'm trying to look at my, questions sheet, and I think I kind of answered that all in one big, all in one big hunk right there for you. But I'm sitting right here now, and I'm pretty much done with the presentation. I think we have about 15 minutes left. Vicki, do you have any questions or anything like that? Because if you do, this is a great time to ask. I usually like to leave the viewing options at the end. I also have so you don't have any questions for now. Great. So if you could do one more thing for me real quick, is that I'm going to put a poll up, and we use this as a measuring tool for our own stats. So of course you can be as honest as you want to be. I'm gonna put up like a yes or no poll. So basically the question is, did you learn anything new in this presentation? And you can just select yes or no. You'll not hurt my feelings either way. I just hope that you had a good time on a Saturday night. All right, well, great. Well, great to know. Now I feel so much better about myself now. Thank you. Well, anyway, um, if you don't have any more questions, have a wonderful evening. I'll give you my last slide, which is my contact information. And I do webinars. This is my second one of the month. I usually do at least 4 to 5 a month. Five is usually kind of pushing it, but I would say definitely 4 a month. One of the special ones that I have coming up soon, at least for your cohort, which is probably EndNote usage. I don't know if you use EndNote for your classes, but if you do, I have a session coming up about EndNote at the end of the month, January 31st. It's right there. Be there, be square. And any of our future webinars, they are located here on this side of the screen. Next one I have is advanced searching using the USA Library. We essentially just using Search USA and some of the other different tools that we have. And yeah, so if you want to join me for any future ones, come on. I would love to have you. Anyway, thanks for coming tonight, Vicki. I really appreciate it. And I hope you have a pleasant evening and a great rest of the weekend. Take care. You're welcome. Have a good night.